very proud of it. I know how important it is. Not everybody has a huge family that nephews and or grandsons and granddaughters that are going to come by and check on you every day.
2, 1, action. Welcome to the Entre podcast, episode 9. We're going to talk about Senior Connections today with our friends Craig Pierson and Amanda Kridel. Thank you guys for being here today.
Thank you.
Awesome. So Senior Connections, we're going to talk about the importance of building connections and giving back to our community, and how Senior Connections has become a staple in the local community, and how we're continuing to grow its impact in all this. So I'd like to basically introduce you guys, our guests today, and talk about maybe y'all's guest backgrounds, Craig and Amanda's professional backgrounds, and give listeners a sense of who we're talking to today. Before we get started, we're going to talk about the vision of Senior Connections. And I truly believe that, as the vision unfolds, people will follow the vision when they believe in the leaders. And I think the people that are listening today, if you're going to buy into what these folks are doing, what we're all doing together in Senior Connections, and we want to show you what this vision is all about today. So, but before we get started, let's talk about y'all's professional backgrounds and who you guys are. Craig, you want to get started?
Sure.
No, we'll start with Amanda. Ladies first.
She really wanted me to go first.
I really want Craig to go first. I still want Craig to go first.
Well, it's your decision. Craig.
I'll
Craig,
go first.
Okay.
All right. So Craig Pierson. So grew up in Michigan, moved to Texas about 15, 20 years ago. As my wife likes to say, got here as fast as we could.
Yeah.
I was fascinated moving to Texas from Michigan because I felt like when I crossed the border, they handed me a chainsaw and a gun and just kind of shooed me in. And instructions are like, no, go ahead. You'll be fine. Just go ahead. So, but we had a ranch here for a while. Now we're in Schulenburg proper, remodeled her grandmother's house. So
cool.
She's very happy to be here. It was great to bring her down here. My professional background is sales. So I started working in a chemical plant when I was 20 years old and just worked my way up through it. Ended up running international sales for that company for about 5 years. And I've been doing sales for, it feels like 50.
Yeah.
Very
awesome.
Cool. Very cool.
Very good, Amanda.
All right. Well, I'm born and raised in Columbus. My family owned Shoals Restaurant since 1979. So I've been around the food industry my entire life. Went to TCU, have a marketing background, worked in Dallas and Fort Worth for a few years. And I was like, time to get home. So moved a little bit closer, got to Houston, ran my father-in-law's facial plastic surgery practice for 10 years. And then in 2018, we decided it was time to truly move home. So brought my crew of 5 back to Columbus and been there since.
Love it. My story is kind of similar. I don't know if I've ever shared this, but I grew up, born and raised here also in Schulenburg, moved to Austin 15 years. And in 2012, I started a 3-year negotiation with my wife, Kimberly, to move back. It was literally a 3-year negotiation. And I went to an Acts retreat. It was a Christian retreat. And I told God, I was like, listen, I want to move to Schulenburg. I know you want me to move to Schulenburg, but we got to get my wife on board. And so I had a conversation with him and I said, whatever you can do to get my wife on board. And 3 years later, he made it happen. So it was her decision to move here, which was amazing. So all worked out great.
That's great.
All right. Let's talk about the background of Senior Connections, how organizations like Senior Connections help others give back to their communities and all this. Who wants to take the lead on that one?
I think I'll start, and then Amanda knows all the numbers and how it's working. But actually, Amanda, do you want to start like where Senior Connections came from? You said 2014.
Yeah, absolutely.
It launched, and what we're doing now, and then
so we've been around for over 10 years, and in the past 3, I think people figured out we truly existed.
Yeah.
Our membership has grown from 45, 50 people to over 425 now, just in the last 3 years. Food is a big part of what we're doing. We serve a really quality meal, something my grandparents would be proud of, which is very important to me. Last year, I think we served close to 7,500 meals. The big piece of what we're doing is that, the membership and the meals are at no cost. We want people to just show up and be a part of it and not have to worry about that. Not always the case for everyone, but for those that truly need the meal, it's there. In my mind, the important piece is the socialization, getting them out of their homes, having a reliable place to go. The meals seem to be the hook for some of the men.
Absolutely.
We used to have a room of maybe one or two, and now it's equally as many men as women. And I'm proud of that piece.
They always say the way you get to a man's heart's through his belly.
Yeah, my father-in-law is an example of that. April, my wife, her dad's 86, and we renovated his house. So it's the one he grew up in. His grandma, April's grandma, lived there, and we finally convinced him to go to Senior Connections. And now he will ignore us because he has to go to Senior Connections. He used to be like, "Hey, you guys can hang out with me?" He's like, "Leave me alone. I need to go to Senior Connections now." Yes, yeah, he's busy. But I think it's important to kind of following up what Amanda said. Like, and I want to make sure we said, like, this is a nonprofit. Senior Connections is a nonprofit, so it's all volunteers. It's all grants and donations. So It's very important. And that's kind of why we're here, is we really need our community to step up for us. And I've been doing a lot of volunteer work for Senior Connections through kind of handyman jobs. So, and it's actually a funny story. My friend in South Carolina was getting ready to retire, and he said, and I was still working, and he said, I'm thinking retirement, I'm going to start helping my neighbors with just light bulbs and stuff. I said, that's a great idea. I'm going to do that when I retire. And April, my wife, looked at me. She goes, "You barely work now. Just do it." And I was like, "Yes, dear." Yeah. So we started doing this for Senior Connections. And now it started off just April and I doing it. April's dad helping a little bit. Now we've got 6 or 7 people that go over to people's houses, clean gutters, change light bulbs. So that's been a really effective way to learn what's going on with these people. And Amanda, we were talking earlier, it's interesting to me that, we keep track of all the hours we spend. And I did gutters for a lady this week, and I spent an hour there. 20 minutes was doing the gutters.
Yeah.
40 minutes was talking to her, asking her how she's doing. They want that interaction. Yeah. They want the relationship. So I think that's the key for me. What Senior Connections brings to our communities is it brings, as you said, consistent, reliable social interaction. It brings community. And if you want a really nice community, you have to contribute to it.
And like you said, the word is connections. They want that connection, and that's what we're doing. It's bringing that connection and people can visit and see each other and just keep going with life and being able to have a good time together too.
Another piece of what we've done in the last couple of years is opening these satellite locations in Weimar and Flatonia. And we have a group of guys that go to every single one of the sites. They've become really close friends. They check on each other. All of them, their wives have passed. So it's an opportunity for these friendships to be created that they never thought would be there. That's not really what they were coming for, but it organically just showed up. So it's been a touching thing to see how much they truly value each other, how close they've become. Yeah. It's been great. And, Craig, when you guys started doing these projects outside of our center, you were able to broaden our reach, broaden how we could serve our communities. And it's been truly a beautiful thing. And I thanked you a couple months ago, and I said, I bet a big portion of what y'all are doing is just talking.
Yes. Yeah. I got to the point where I was bringing April's dad, the 86-year-old, just to talk to them while I did the work, because I wasn't getting the work done. Yeah. I was like, you need to come help me.
Yeah.
And absolutely. He enjoys it.
And going on something what y'all just said, but as you get older, your friends pass away and stuff like that. And I forget what country and western singer said it, but he said, "My biggest fear in life is outliving my friends."
Yes.
And so Senior Connection is a way to make new friends too, if as life goes on too. So
yeah, and some of the other programs. So Amanda mentioned the meals. So we're doing meals in 3 different locations right now. It's Weimar, Flatonia, and Schulenburg. We're covering 4 counties, so it's Fayette, Lavaca, Colorado, and Gonzales. We've also got Stephanie Schroyer does the art project with people. She does field trips. We have guest speakers. They do bingo and other games. So all these other interactions we're doing are critical for them. Right. But the social interactions, the glue that keeps it together.
Absolutely. Well said.
Okay, I want to give the listeners a peek into how we got involved in Senior Connections. And so how that all happened.
Yeah. Go ahead, Greg.
Well, again, mine was the handyman idea. So we were my buddy lives in a very kind of planned community. It's very tight townhouses. In Schulenburg, everybody's, pretty far away. Everybody has a house or a ranch or property. And when we mentioned Senior Connections, that was a perfect opportunity to kind of focus the work on the people that needed it. So it was a really good team up, in my opinion.
Yeah. Talking about these volunteers, we absolutely could not do what we do without the army of volunteers that we have. And when I joined back in 2023, our board was 8. Yeah. Now we're up to 15. Our volunteer base was, just a handful of ladies that were helping us at the center. But now we've got this huge group of people that show up. Yeah.
Entourage.
Yeah, exactly. That show up consistently. They care about our people. They know them. And that's the most important piece because, when you're in your 90s, you may not be checking in with your family every week. They may not notice or pick up on a change. And just in the past week, we had a volunteer that was like, something's going on. She's not as sharp as she would normally be. And I really think we need to pursue this. And so reached out to the family, reached out to the people that we're caring for, had some testing done and we figured out what the problem is. And now she's back on track. So it's just having that second line of defense, essentially, of volunteers that know our members, know our people, and pick up on possible changes and how we can help them when they leave the center. It's not just beneficial when they're in our doors. Our doors are much bigger now.
Yeah.
And it's not transactional. This is about relationships and having a better community.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And how did you get involved?
Oh, yeah. About that. So back in 2023, one of the board members reached out and, essentially my role was marketing development. And I was like, with my background, sure, I can do that. But as soon as I walked in the door, I was like, oh my gosh, I love these people. Yeah. A couple of them still have those Czech and German accents like my grandparents had. And, I adore it, So, transitioned into the executive director role early last year, and all good things. Stephanie Shore, our program director, runs the center and the daily operations, and she does a fantastic job. And she's been great about recruiting volunteers and talking about our program, and it's just grown from this small thing to something so much bigger. I enjoy being the executive director. I enjoy writing the grants. I truly am very passionate about what we're doing and getting us to this next step of what Senior Connections looks like.
Just to brag on you a little, everything rises and falls on leadership. And ever since you came on board, it's really grown a lot. So that says a lot about you and your ability to lead and influence and you helped us take it to a whole nother level, which has been amazing. So thank you.
I'm very proud of it. I know how important it is. Not everybody has a huge family that nephews and or grandsons and granddaughters that are going to come by and check on you every day. My family was blessed in that regard, but our members are our family. Yeah, and we care about them as much as I would about my own grandparents.
Yeah,
I think the dynamic's interesting with the volunteers too, because when we started just doing the handyman thing, it was just going to be April and I. Like we thought that'd be enough, and soon as somebody helped, they wanted to help more. Like the dynamic is if you can show them what we're doing, they want to do it. Like it becomes part of their desire to make things better for the community.
And that's the point of this, is to try to educate and make it less abstract of what we're doing, but also like, come join us.
Yes. Yeah.
If you're not a member, but you want to volunteer, all those things are important for our community.
Absolutely. Growing up in Schulenburg, my grandparents, Leon and Marcella Langhammer, they instilled faith in us. They instilled a family. So it was faith, family, and it was work. My family loved to work hard. But then the fourth pillar I felt like was community. And so, my grandfather served almost 30 years on city council in Schulenburg. It was a long time.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I had decided to run for city council in 2000 when I moved back in, I think 16 or 17. I served 2 terms. I didn't make 30 years like he did, But anyways, when I got on city council, the mayor appointed me to be on the board of Senior Connections. That's how I got involved, and I've been here ever since.
Yeah.
So
we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Well, you brought me into Senior Connections.
Yeah. Because Amanda asked me.
Yeah.
I was like, he's really great.
We need to get
we need
in
more.
Yeah.
So yes, absolutely. Okay. Let me see where we're going here. So we kind of talked about everyone's role. You're executive director, you serve on the board, I serve on the board. And then I guess let's talk about some of the programs offered by Senior Connections.
Okay. Monday and Wednesday and Friday, we're here in Schulenburg. Monday and Wednesday are more game centered, meal and bingo, which is everybody's favorite. We're blessed in that regard too. Our bingo callers are local community partners. Different businesses come in, call bingo, but they also bring the prizes, which, it's a big deal to our people. They enjoy it. It's truly, it gets a little loud in there. Very lively. On every other Tuesday, we're either in Flatonia or Weimar doing the same type of program. We open up at 9 till about 2:00 typically. And then on Fridays, that's when Stephanie and Arts for Rural Texas host the art program, which is, when I first started, and this is completely credit to Stephanie, we'd have 3 or 4 people that were participating. Now we're trying to figure out where we can put more tables.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's got 2 classrooms going, and 20, 25, 30 people are consistently in attendance. So it's something for everybody.
Yeah.
My family grew up playing dominoes, so that's always a big piece of the morning, dominoes and cards. Then the lunch, and then bingo after. So
Yeah.
It's good.
Very good. Let's talk about some personal stories of seeing the benefits of Senior Connections in action. I got some good ones I want to talk about, but y'all go first.
I think mine is April's dad, like my father-in-law.
Yeah.
Seeing him not really involved in the community, but the thing I find interesting here is that all the elderly people know the history.
Mm-hmm.
They know cousins and nieces and nephews. I grew up in Michigan. I didn't have that. We knew who our immediate family was, but we didn't keep track of it all.
Yeah.
They know everybody here. So they know third cousins, fourth cousins. And to me, that's really important part of what the culture here is.
Yeah.
So to see him kind of just hanging out with the same people, but then finding Senior Connections, even though it took a minute to get him comfortable with it, he's integrated now. Like the other day, Stephanie was doing some needed plywood cut for some mosaics for the art. And he took it back to his shop and cut them all out.
Yeah.
Like this, just the interaction that I'm seeing with him in this community is fantastic.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. My grandparents, Noli and Robert Schobel in Columbus, each of them had 10 and 12 siblings. Like they had their own senior center.
Yeah.
and every Wednesday they would meet in the back of the restaurant over at Schobel's, and they'd close down the back part and they'd play stick.
Yeah.
And then we'd walk over there and have kolaches and all the delicious things that they all baked. Like they all tried to outdo each other with the food. And it's the same thing here.
Yeah.
Like a lot of our members will bring desserts that we have at the end of lunch. And like they all try to outdo each other. They all want to be a part of it. It's just been, to see the growth for me is just been so touching. Like it shows the belief that the community has in what we're doing, and then that the need is there.
Yeah.
It's just been a really good couple of years. Challenging some days, but very good.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that the amount of thank yous you get from the members, you get, thank you for doing this. Thank you. And I'm like, I don't even do that much. It's the volunteers that do so much for us, And so they're the ones that really do the bulk of it. And so it's twofold. You get the thank yous from the members, and then you see all the work that the volunteers are doing. And that's what the benefits that I see is just twofold. You see what the volunteers are doing, and then the members very much appreciate it, and the thank yous you get in return for that.
Well, that's the village, right? You don't have to be the hands-on person, but you're contributing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think it's interesting too. I just thought of like the handyman stuff we're doing. Almost every person we do things for offers to pay us. and it's a free service. Like, we're just doing it to help.
Yeah.
And they're always like, can I give you $5 or $10? Like, no, just give it to Senior Connections.
And a lot of them do. And we appreciate it. It goes straight back into the program to pay for the things that we need to do. But, never the expectation, but some just want to contribute.
Okay. We're going to get into the future. So we're growing, right? And there's a lot going on, and we've outgrown our space that the city has generously offered to let us use for the past, umpteenth years, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we're busting out of that facility, we bought a building in downtown Schulenburg, and it's a beautiful spot to be at, and it's a perfect location. But let's tell our listeners about the growth of Senior Connections and our future ambitions and the need for the new space that we have acquired.
Absolutely. So, our building, and again, thank you to the city, because without that foundation, I don't know that the organization wouldn't have dissolved at some point. We've really broadened our ability to find funding outside of Schulenburg, and our hope in the future is to get away from having to rely so heavily on the local community from a funding standpoint. Volunteers here always needed, but the city's contribution has been substantial over the years. But yes, we have well exceeded the building here in Schulenburg's capacity. We have one restroom. The kitchen isn't exactly what you need to be able to do these large scale preparation for the food. So, any given Wednesday, we've got 60 people sharing one restroom, and that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Wouldn't work for, just doesn't work. So, the new building is downtown, great visibility. It's going to give us the opportunity to kind of beautify the area a little bit. It was the old Gallup's building.
Right.
So we've owned both parts of it. So it's going to be a very wonderful thing once we get there.
And I think going from kind of like the current situation to the future situation, current state, future state, is the current state is everything's wonderful. Like, we're full, we're serving meals, we're having an effect on the community. And now the next step, the future state, is how do you continue that expansion, that growth, and take care of the people who need it? We haven't reached the end point. Like, there's not a certain number of people that need help, and we've helped them. It continues to grow. And especially in the 4 counties we mentioned around us, there's going to be more that are going to come forward as they hear about it. So we really need this Gallup building, this new Senior Connections Center, to be a spot these people can come to and get a hot meal and to have interaction and all the things we've talked about. So it's very important that this building, while we have grants and donations for the day-to-day operations, this is going to be special. We're going to need significant contributions from our community, from our business leaders, from the people that see the value in this, to help us make that building what it needs to be for our community.
Yeah, I feel like our community is twofold. First off, we're a heartland community. People don't leave here. Once they come, they stay. They grew up here, they raise their kids, and they end up, basically dying here. But you also have more of a retirement community too. You see a lot of people move out here after they make their money in the city and retire out here. And then you just have the baby boom generation, which is a huge demographic of retirees that we need to help out. And so that's why we're needing a bigger, more spacious facility with restrooms and all this stuff. So we bought, the location for you that are listening, it's downtown at the corner of Upton and Main Street. And so, Lyons and Main Street. And so, it was a Gallup supermarket before. So when I grew up, it was a supermarket on one side and the other side was the meat market. And so we have both sides of that building that we've acquired. And I guess, there's some pictures we'll show of the building, what we want it to look like and all this. So I guess we'll go into, let's introduce the topic of fundraising to renovate this new space.
This is going to be the key. Again,
we've got the sales guy right here.
That's right. I have 40 years of doing it, and I get to do it for a few more. So it made me happy. So we've got the grants and donations and the New Year's Eve fundraiser, the things we do to operate on a yearly basis to take care of things. And I think, Amanda, you can talk a little bit more about what this new kitchen means.
Oh, it means a lot to me.
Additional grants. Yeah. So it opens up possibilities. And again, this isn't, it's a need. The community needs this. It's not a luxury. We're not doing something that we can go without. We have to take care of our elderly people. So to me, this is the focus of this fundraising is we're going to have a capital campaign that's going to start this month. And we're going to go out to our community and ask for significant donations to say, we need to turn this Gallup building into a senior center that can accommodate X number of people to help our community, to help our elderly, not just in where we're at, but to grow for all four counties.
Yeah. The question I get the most is, once y'all have this, are you going to stop the satellite programs? And the answer there is no. Our goal is to have this as the Gallup's building as our hub. And within this hub will be this commercial kitchen where all meal prep is done and then transported to the satellite locations that we currently have. But the goal is to expand the satellites. It's not to take them away. We know that transportation is an issue. We know it's hard for our members to get to Schulenburg. And that was why we initially opened up Weimar and Flatonia to broaden our reach. So I think it's important to make sure that the goal is to increase the satellites. It's never to take it away.
It's about growth, and there's need. I think that's the critical part for me is there's need out there, and we have the opportunity in front of us with this building to satisfy that need for our elderly, for our community, and we should do that.
Right. Absolutely.
I guess we've touched base on the new space and what it could mean for Senior Connections and the seniors it serves, more or less. But we're going to tell the listeners what is needed to fulfill this vision and what steps are being taken. I know right now, obviously it was an older building. It's going through the process of being abated,
Currently.
Yes. So that's all being done right now. But now we've got to take it to the next step. So maybe go into that a little bit, Amanda.
Yeah. So Schulenburg, the drainage, that's interesting. Like the slopes. So we've hired some civil engineers to help us. We're going to demo some stuff, and we want to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for long-term success, that we're not going to take something away and then it's ultimately going to create all these additional issues. So those are the next few phases is, and we've also hired an architect and a kitchen company that's helping design the kitchen, and the architect handling the building itself. And then the civil engineer is very important. And for me, we have to look at it as projects. All right, we've secured this funding for this, so let's go ahead and move forward with that piece. If I think about the entire project as a whole,
it's overwhelming. It's
a little overwhelming. So yes, community is going to be very important. But once we have this commercial kitchen and it's health inspected and it's all the things that it needs to be, and I welcome that, because it will open up so many different funding opportunities outside of our community, and we won't have to rely so heavily on the businesses that are already contributing to so many other worthy nonprofits here. There's a lot of state funding out there. We've already secured a small contract, but once we have that health inspected commercial kitchen, we could benefit more from the state.
Yeah, and I'd add to that I feel like the Gallup building, the new Senior Connections Center, is more of a one-time ask. And in my sales career is always, you have the conversations, you go through the presentations, but then there's what's the ask? What do you want from me? And I think what we're going to do with this is that building needs to be renovated. It needs to have an industrial kitchen in it, and it needs to be finished out so our elderly community can use it. That's the ask. Is I would say we're not going to come back and ask you to keep doing this year over year. Yeah. We're going to ask for a one-time significant contribution to try and get that where it needs to be.
Right.
For sure.
Time, talent, and treasure.
Right. When do you, what are your hopes? I mean, I have a number in mind, but what is your hopes to have this project realized and done?
We needed it yesterday. I mean, just the growth itself has put us into a situation where it's, oh man, I don't want to have to start turning people away because we physically cannot get another body in our Schulenburg Center.
And we're close.
I mean, we're
Yep.
there. I mean,
Yep.
truly. And you know, with one restroom, you can't really keep adding people. Like I can move more tables around. I can,
Yeah.
but like it doesn't change the physical layout of the place.
Mhm.
So, you know, I think realistically, this is probably a 2-year thing. Do you agree?
I agree. And I think anytime you renovate, we just did, like I said, my wife and father-in-law's house, and that took a solid year just to renovate a house. I can't imagine doing an industrial kitchen, a building, getting that usable for our community. But I do think, as you said, we need to do it in stages, but we need to make progress.
Right.
Like we can't have long gaps of no funding where this particular part of the project doesn't get done. So that's kind of my hope, is that we will have stages that are met with the funding so we can progress as quickly as possible, but still do it right.
Yeah, I agree. You know, we're doing the abatement. You talked about the drainage stuff will get rendered, but you know, getting it to that vanilla state, you know, and then once we get it there, I would hope to have it to a vanilla state within the next 9 months to a year.
I agree.
And then after that, hopefully we've got some momentum going with fundraising and we're able to keep the project going and be done in year 2. So, and sooner it'll be better, but that's the goal.
And I think to kind of put effort to that is that we're going to allow our donors to sponsor things. They can sponsor the kitchen. They can naming rights for the building, sponsor field trips. Like there's lots of opportunities for whoever's going to donate to this to have their name on it. And I know a lot of people just want to have an impact. But if a business wants to do it and they want, that advertising for the community, which is totally acceptable. It should be that way. If you're going to give that much money, kind of the what's in it for me is that would be in it for you. So I feel like there are opportunities outside of just writing a big check to say, I'm going to sponsor the lunches. I'm going to sponsor the field trips. And I think that gives them something tangible to say they donated for. Right. So I think that'll help.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's talk about our pitch to listeners and viewers about how they can help fundraise.
Well, I think we're going to have kind of a tiered approach to it. The board's still working on how we're going to roll this out, but I think we're going to have direct mailers. We're also going to do maybe some fundraising like dinners and lunches and things like that. But there's also going to be a section of this. It's going to be the bigger donors because we need over $1 million for this. Yeah. So we need, as I like to say, people have been giving 1,000, 1,500 to we need more zeros. Yeah. And to do that, we're going to have to appeal these people directly in person and show them that rendering, show them what we're doing for the community, which is thank you for doing this podcast for us, because this is a big step towards that.
For sure. We can share this with folks and they can get an idea of what we're talking about.
Yeah. So I think a lot of it's going to be similar to what we've done in the past, but there'll also be some new twist put on it where we're going to have to interact directly with the bigger donors and make sure we keep this thing funded and moving along.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've already done like even we do our yearly event at Freiburg for our fundraiser at the end of the year, and that one's more or less to keep operations going. But we also did our paddles up this year, and we did pretty good on that.
Absolutely, we did very well, and it's uplifting to see the people that want to make those larger contributions, and it gives you goosebumps. Yeah, it really does. Like, oh man, to know somebody believes in what we're doing that much. It's truly amazing.
Yes, it was a great feeling to see that we raised over 50,000 on that.
Appreciate you getting up there.
Yeah, very, very nerve-wracking because there's a lot of quietness, right? And so you got to sit through that quietness, and then somebody raises their hand, and I'll do 10,000. And you're like, wow, that's a pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you for all the people that contributed towards that.
Absolutely. Man, the list of people that we need to thank is so long.
Yes,
I know.
The abatement, that's Second Chance coming in and funding that. The Stansel Family Foundation been a huge supporter all these years, but even for this renovation, they've already made a contribution. So the wheels are turning. We're getting there, but it's going to take a lot.
Yeah. So for the listeners, we have a beautiful website that Amanda helped design, and that's srconnections.org. Is that correct?
SR,
or srconnections.org.
srconnections.org.
So go to srconnections.org, and there's a lot of information about stuff that we're talking about today, but you'll really get a peek into what it's all about and how far we've come and what we're doing on that website. And there's an ability to give there too, online and stuff like this too. So I encourage our listeners to check that out and share this on social media if you don't mind, and send the podcast to folks that you think may be interested in donating towards the cause and all this. And we'll kind of just let us close out with anything else you guys want to say.
Amanda? Good?
Please.
Peace. I like that one too. Yes. I just think that this is really important for the community. And I can say, not having grown up here, I'm part of the community. So I want to be here for my next 40, 50 years, however long it lasts. And I want our kids to be able to come here, and I want their grandkids to come here. So this isn't a short-term deal we're working on. This is for kind of our community and the future generations that are coming. So I think that's really important.
Yes.
Absolutely.
This project is not only great for the people we're serving, but it's also great for downtown. I feel like this building, renovating it, it will help downtown and Main Street, get people down here too. And just thank you to all the volunteers. Thank you to our members. Thank you to our community for all y'all support. And thank you, Amanda, for all that you do. And Stephanie also, and all the volunteers, like I said, and the board members. Well, we'll close it out with that, guys. Please do not forget to share this on social media. Send it to your friends and anyone else that you think would want to contribute or even volunteer. We appreciate you guys very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Chip.
Thanks.